Florida Real Estate Vocabulary Flashcards, 95 questions with explained answers. Flashcard 1. Term, grantor. Definition, party giving the deed that conveys title. Flashcard 2. Term, adverse possession. Definition, method of obtaining title to real property by occupying it in an open and hostile manner contrary to the interest of the owner. Flashcard 3. Term, increase in value. Definition, arrears. Flashcard 4. Term, arm financing technique in which the lender can raise or lower the interest rate according to a set index. Definition, adjusted basis. Flashcard 5. Term, breach of trust. Definition, failure. Flashcard 6. Term, method of obtaining title to real property by occupying it in an open and hostile manner contrary to the interests of the owner. Definition, affidavit. Flashcard 7. Term, imaginarians running east and west crossing a principal meridian at a definite point used by surveyors for reference in locating and describing land under the government survey system. Definition, before tax cash flow. Flashcard 8. Term, acceleration clause. Definition, stipulation in a mortgage that the entire unpaid balance of the debt may become due and payable if a default of expressed conditions occurs. Flashcard 9. Term, advanced fee. Definition, commission or partial compensation received by a broker prior to completing the real estate service. Flashcard 10. Term, acre. Definition, 43,560 square feet. Flashcard 11. Term, absentee owner. Definition, property holder who does not reside on the property who usually relies on a property manager to supervise the investment. Flashcard 12. Term, anything of value. Definition, assignee. Flashcard 13. Term, literal rights. Definition, land abutting tidal bodies of water such as ocean or sea. Flashcard 14. Term, vendee. Definition, buyer in a sale contract. Flashcard 15. Term, type of deed. Which title is transferred, limited number of warranties are made respecting title to use the property. Definition, base industry. Flashcard 16. Term, the combining of two or more adjoining properties into one tract. Definition, assessed value. Flashcard 17. Term, equitable title. Definition, beneficial interest in real estate that implies that an individual will receive legal title at a future date. Flashcard 18. Term, vendor. Definition, seller in a sale contract. Flashcard 19. Term, a loan characterized by payment of debt by regular installment payments. Definition, ad valorem. Flashcard 20. Term, financial report that shows the company's financial position at a stated moment in time. Definition, balloon payment. Flashcard 21. Term, single large parent made at the maturity of partially amortized to pay off the debt in full. Definition, bargain and sale deed. Flashcard 22. Term, point of beginning POB. Definition, must be accurate starting pointing. Flashcard 23. Term, owner's original cost plus buying expenses plus capital improvements. Definition, administrative complaint. Flashcard 24. Term, grantee. Definition, party receiving the deed and acquiring the title. Flashcard 25. Term, a judicial or court decision. Definition, adjustable rate mortgages. Flashcard 26. Term, state and federal laws designed to maintain and preserve business competition. Definition, appeal. Flashcard 27. Term, outline of allegations. Definition, administrative law. Flashcard 28. Term, total yearly cost of credit. Definition, antitrust laws. Flashcard 29. Term, lessee. Definition, tenant who receives lease. Flashcard 30. Term, worth established for each unit of real property for tax purposes by a county property appraiser. Definition, assessment. Flashcard 31. Term, the act of transferring ownership, title, or an interest in real property. Definition, alluvion. Flashcard 32. Term, arrangement in which a person who is in a position to refer business incident to or a part of a real estate settlement service involving a federally related mortgage loan or an associate of such person has either affiliate relationship with or a direct beneficial ownership interest of more than 1% in a provider of a settlement services. Definition, agency. Flashcard 33. Term, request to some authority for a decision or judgment. Definition, appraisal. Flashcard 34. Term, sworn statement written down before a notary or public official. Definition, affiliated business relationship. Flashcard 35. Term, bilateral contract. Definition, agreement wherein both parties are legally obligated to each other to perform. Flashcard 36. Term, adverse interest. Definition, purpose in opposition to the interest of another party. Flashcard 37. Term, conducting negotiations on one's own behalf without being subject to the other party's control or influence. Definition, attachment. Flashcard 38. Term, representative. Definition, agricultural. Flashcard 39. Term, check. Definition, a square 24 miles on each side, a check contains 16 townships. Flashcard 40. Term, attorney employed by the Division of Administrative Hearings, Department of Administration to hear complaints and issue recommended orders. Definition, advance fee. Flashcard 41. Term, offeree. Definition, seller receiving an offer to purchase and who accepts counters or rejects the offer. Flashcard 42. Term, one who is authorized to perform certain acts for another under the power of attorney. Definition, automated underwriting. Flashcard 43. Term, blanket mortgage. Definition, one debt instrument covering two more parcels. Flashcard 44. Term, a licensee's last known mailing address. Definition, adjudication. Flashcard 45. Term, business that attract outside money into the area primary. Definition, baseline. Flashcard 46. Term, mortgagee. Definition, lender who receives note and mortgage. Flashcard 47. Term, amount of money required each year for the payment of all mortgages, interest and principal. Definition, APR annual percentage rate. Flashcard 48. Term, buyer of real property that is already mortgaged assumes liability for the mortgage payments of the original loan that remains on the property. Definition, at arm's length. Flashcard 49. Term, meets and bounds description. Definition, plotting distance as meets bounds as direction. Flashcard 50. Term, person who gives legal rights or interests to another person. Definition, assumption. Flashcard 51. Term, section. Definition, a square 1 mile on each side containing 1 square miles, 640 acres. Flashcard 52. Term, recurring each year. The date of the insurance policy must be renewed to continue in effect. Definition, annual debt service. Flashcard 53. Term, biennium. Definition, a period of 2 years. Flashcard 54. Term, defined under Chapter 475 FS properties owned more than 10 acres. Definition, air rights. Flashcard 55. Term, service that enables lenders to obtain a credit risk classification using application software in the loan underwriting process. Definition, balance sheet. Flashcard 56. Term, the increase of land by the gradual and imperceptible action of natural forces. Example, deposits of sand. Definition, amortized mortgage. Flashcard 57. Term, liener. Definition, person who has a claim on another's property. Flashcard 58. Term, offerer. Definition, buyer making an offer to purchase. Flashcard 59. Term, testate. Definition, indicates a deceased person's prepared a will before death. Flashcard 60. Term, according to the value in proportion to were. Definition, address of record. Flashcard 61. Term, litter owners. Definition, own land that abuts water that is not flowing including ponds and lakes. Flashcard 62. Term, stipulation. Definition, the facts of the case and the penalty reached between the attorney for the dray and the attorney. Flashcard 63. Term, binder. Definition, memorandum given subject to the writing of a formal contract for sale usually acknowledging receipt of S portion of the down payment for purchase. Flashcard 64. Term, express or implied authorization for one person to act for another. Definition, agent. Flashcard 65. Term, increase of land by the gradual and imperceptible action of natural forces. Example, deposit of sand or mud. Definition, amortized mortgage. Flashcard 66. Term, affidavit. Definition, sworn statement written down before a notary or public official. Flashcard 67. Term, riparian rights. Definition, land abutting moving water such as banks of a river or stream. Flashcard 68. Term, quarter section. Definition, along banks and lakes fractional piece of a section part of legal description for parcel. Flashcard 69. Term, optionee. Definition, buyer who receives an option contract. Flashcard 70. Term, boot. Definition, money or property that is not like kind makes up equity. Flashcard 71. Term, state of being behind in the discharge of an obligation paid at the end of the period for which something is due, the opposite of an advance. Definition, assemblage. Flashcard 72. Term, adjusted basis. Definition, alienation. Flashcard 73. Term, purpose in opposition to the interest of another party, for example with a buyer or seller. Definition, adverse possession. Flashcard 74. Term, township. Definition, A square 6 miles on each side containing 36-mile sections. Flashcard 75. Term, written instrument that serves to transfer the rights of interests of one person to another. Definition, assignment of mortgage. Flashcard 76. Term, lessor. Definition, landlord who gives lease. Flashcard 77. Term, the body of law created by administrative agencies in the form of rules, regulations, orders, and decisions. Definition, administrative law judge. Flashcard 78. Term, mortgagor. Definition, borrower who gives note and mortgage to obtain a loan. Flashcard 79. Term, legal instrument stating that mortgage assigns transfers the mortgage and promissory note to the purchaser. Definition, assignor. Flashcard 80. Term, blind advertisement. Definition, that provides only a telephone number. Flashcard 81. Term, person to whom a right or interest is transferred. Definition, assignment. Flashcard 82. Term, lienee. Definition, person whose property is subject to a claim or charge by another. Flashcard 83. Term, bona fide. Definition, without fraud of good faith. Flashcard 84. Term, commission or partial compensation received by a broker prior to completing the real estate service. Definition, adverse interest. Flashcard 85. Term, the act of transferring ownership title or an interest or estate in real property. Definition, alluvion. Flashcard 86. Term, assignor. Definition, a person who transfers a legal right to another. Flashcard 87. Term, imposition of tax or charge according to preset rate, the allocation of the proportionate individual share of a common expense in a condo or co-op building. Definition, asset. Flashcard 88. Term, legal writ is obtained to prevent removal of property that is expected to be used to satisfy judgment. Definition, attorney in fact. Flashcard 89. Term, freedom to use the. Definition, alienation. Flashcard 90. Term, intestate. Definition, without a will. Flashcard 91. Term, one who is registered, licensed, or certified by the DBPR and provides an estimate of value. Definition, appreciation. Flashcard 92. Term, assignee. Definition, person whom a legal right is transferred. Flashcard 93. Term, a loan characterized by payment of debt by regular installment payments. Definition, anniversary date. Flashcard 94. Term, process of developing and communicating an opinion of S property value as a certain date. Definition, appraiser. Flashcard 95. Term, optioner. Definition, owner who gives an option to a buyer.